welcome all our listeners and our entire community to another wonderful episode with Dr. Alka and Coffee with Kalra. And I hope everyone's brought their cup of coffee to join us this evening. So, Doctor, shall we begin?
Yes, please do.
Okay, our first question this evening is, what is self-confidence?
It's a very, very nice question. Thank you very much, Ms. Lucia. It is basically a belief on oneself, that the ability to perform something in life. So there are a lot of things, the moment you are able to do in any area, anything which you were expected to do, your confidence goes up. And there's so many areas, whether you're able to ride a cycle, whether you're able to make a food, whether you're able to get good grades in your class, everything adds towards your self-confidence. So basically, it is a power and ability to perform in an external world. And that is what self-confidence is all about. And what do you think about yourself? That is what is your self-confidence.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. The next question is, why is self-confidence important?
Very, very good question. Thank you very much. And I would like to share a story here. You know, this story is of a balloon seller. And there was this balloon seller who was selling the helium balloons. And as we know that the helium balloons, when you leave them, they go up in the sky. And there was this little boy who was standing and looking at all these helium balloons the balloon seller was holding. And he was quite fascinated, because whenever the business will be a bit low and the kids are not around, he will just release one balloon and the balloon will go up in the sky. And the child was quite fascinated, and he just tapped at the uncle and said, Uncle, is it that red balloon? If you leave that, will that also go up in the sky? Balloon seller continued selling the balloons and said, yes, it will. A moment later, he said, and the black one, will it also go up in the sky? And this time, the balloon seller turned around and said, my dear lovely child, it is actually not the shape or the color of the balloon, but what is inside determines how high it will go in the sky. So same way I would like to explain, Ms. Lucia, that self-confidence is something very, very internal. And that actually determines how successful one would be in life. The fact remains that these are those positive values within, and if one has all those positive things within, and the first of all is the self-worth. Do you really think you're good enough? A lot of children, students, adults are the obstacle themselves on their way, because they think, you know, I don't look that nice, you know, I'm not tall enough, you know, I'm not fair enough, I'm not, you know, my complexion is pretty dark. I wish, you know, I had more confidence. So what is confidence? It is something which is within. And if you think yourself not to be good enough, then you are actually creating an obstacle for your own self. So it's very, very important to understand that it is the feeling of being self-worth, that you are good enough. And if you think you actually are. The very first step is to believe that you're good enough.
Wonderful, Dr. Alka. The third question is, where does self-confidence come from?
So as rightly asked by you, it is very much internal. And we often say that self-confidence is actually external. It can be observed in your activities externally. It can be seen with the naked eye, the kind of the confidence you walk with, you talk with, you interact with. It is very, very obvious, but it does not come from external world. It certainly comes from internal world. And there I would like to coin a term, self-esteem. Esteem is very important, because many a times you can pretend to be confident, but when your esteem is high, when your self-worth is high, when your belief about your core values are positive, that you are very, very strong on those internal value system, the life is going to be at altogether a different platform. So your self-worth is actually determined by your own perception and your own core belief system about your ability to do the things. So I think it is very important, the children who are often express not confident, they're actually having low self-esteem, and self-esteem is something which can be built. So the parents need to be very cautious and assess and understand that what is the child's self-esteem. So often children say, I am not good enough, I can't do this. Without trying, I can't do this. And at this juncture, I would like to talk about another beautiful concept, that this is like, I know that I know it, and I know that I don't know it. So in our life, there are things in all of our lives, be it adults or children. I know that I can drive a car. I know that I can read English language. And I know that I can't read Spanish. So there are a lot of things which I know that I know it, and there are a lot of things which I know that I don't know it. But there's another domain which is very, very important, that I don't know that I know it. A lot of things we just try for the first time and we are amazed because we could do it, but we didn't know about it. And I don't know that I don't know it, which is again a very, very big area. So I think it is very important for children with their families to sit down and do this activity. I know that I know it. List down everything you know that you know. It could be as simple as drinking water, drinking milk. You know that you can do it. And a lot of things which you know that you can't do it. A lot of kids, they can't swim, so I know that I can't swim, or I know that I can't jump from the top of the building, or whatever. So you know you can't, but there are a lot of things you know that you can. But beyond that, I think it's very, very important for all of us to know, I don't know that I know it. And there comes the question of self-esteem, that you try doing it for the first time and then you're so happy because you're able to do it very confidently. So to venture into that field and then make the circle of acceptance that the things which we know becomes bigger and bigger. So let's start venturing into those areas which we are not aware of about our own selves.
Dr. Alka, this is brilliant. This type of activity would really, really bring about lots of conversation within the family, and it will begin to identify so much that the child has or even the parents have. Dr. Alka, can you sort of elaborate right now, since we've sort of dove into the self-confidence and self-esteem, how about self-efficacy?
Oh, thank you very much for bringing in self-efficacy. It is a very, very important concept. Now, let me explain the difference between self-concept, self-efficacy, and self-esteem. Self-concept is I can. So the child says, I can do it, or I can't do it. Whereas self-efficacy is I will be able to do it. So it is in the futuristic tense that you are confident about what are your abilities. So it's more of your perception of yourself, that what do you believe in? Do you think that you are able to perform that? I'm sure I'll be able to do it. So as we were talking about the domain of I know that I know it, the efficacy is higher, but I don't know that I know it, my efficacy about those things are lower. So the moment we start working on those domains, the life becomes more fulfilled and amazing. But coming to self-esteem, it's a core belief system about yourself. So irrespective of whether you can or you will, but your belief system. So a lot of children have crushed self-esteem. And because of their crushed self-esteem, their belief system is totally shattered. And despite of their being able to do it, they just underestimate themselves and they say, no, no, I can't. No, no, I can't. I know I will not be able to. This is not possible. This is too tough. This is too hard. And I think parenting plays a very, very significant role in building esteem, because the children with the high self-esteem will even venture into the areas where they've not experienced something before, but they want to venture and they want to try and then come up with the conclusion. Not that they look at the face of it and say, no, it looks so difficult. Like I've seen, because I work very closely with children. Now, say, for example, if it is a hurdle, climbing a wall. So there are certain loops and hooks over a certain distance, and children are expected to do this adventure activity, and they have cushions down below, and it's very comfortable. A lot of children will look at it and say, no, I don't think I can. I remember I used to take children for a night camp, and we used to have mountain climbing. So at the onset, a lot of them will say, no, it's too high, doctor. I can't go there. And by the end of it, when they go there with the support, with the help, with the team, holding hands with the friend, and they, oh my God, I can never imagine I could do it, but I'm so happy I'm able to do it. So estimating your ability to perform a task is very, very important. And that is what esteem is all about. So I think in a nutshell, if we want to do it, I can, I will, I am. These are the three things: self-confidence, self-efficacy, and self-esteem.
Wonderful, Dr. Alka. That is truly well explained. Let's move on to the next question. Is self-confidence a prerequisite for leadership?
I certainly believe it is. It is very, very important, because the fact remains that if the leader is not confident, then he's not a leader. Because there are certain, I very strongly say that leaders are not born but made. And the reason why I believe in this statement is that a leader is a leader if the people love to follow him, and follow him when he's confident to lead the path. So the confidence people are the ones who are ready to lead the rest of them. And that is why followers normally are the ones who are very shaky and not very confident about moving forward. But leadership talks about the self-confidence. So leaders must be confident. And that is why in all our leadership training programs, self-confidence building is the basic thing. And very often parents will come and ask, doctor, what do you teach in self-confidence building? It is not teaching, but it is a methodology by which you develop confidence. So a child who has a crushed self-esteem, you actually have to set low targets and then make them achieve those targets and then celebrate those achievements. And then the esteem is built. Oh, I did it. I can do it. And then gradually and slowly you take them to the next and the next level. And that is how it is cultivated among young children. So I think it is very, very important.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. The next question, Doctor, is can one pretend to be self-confident?
Oh, this is a very good question. Whether one can pretend? Yes, many times. A lot of people pretend to be confident. The only thing is, as far as it is in a very, very safe jurisdiction, probably one could be successful pretending. But say, for example, you don't know driving and you pretend that I know driving, you can really crash into someone who's innocent. So I think the areas where you try it should be very, very risk-free. Otherwise, I don't advise that you fake it. People do come up with a statement saying, fake it till you make it. But my very sincere advice is that self-confidence have two things: what and how. So what do you want to do in life? And the moment you figure out what do you want to do, it is important for you to know how to do it. Because if how to do it is not clear, like you want to learn driving, but you don't know how to drive, I think unless you figure that out, one should not try to fake into it, because it could be dangerous. That's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alka.
My pleasure.
Can you kindly suggest ways in which one can boost self-confidence?
Thank you so much for this question, because first of all, one has to work on self-worth, and that comes from within, and it comes from the psychosocial ambience of a child. And a young child and controlling parent who are very, very authoritative and who come up with a very negative comments, actually they crush the self-esteem of a child. So self-worth, creating self-worth in children is very important, and that the first step, that's very significant. So whether the child is able to do it or not able to do it, but I would suggest all the parents who are joining this talk or listening to this talk, or even the teachers, I think I would like to tell all the teachers and the parents at this juncture that please do not hurt the self-worth of a child. And very often it happens that you are in an angry mood and you are in a bad mood, or child has done something which probably could be very, very bad, but I don't expect you to ruin the within self of the child by coming up with the statement, you're good for nothing, you will never ever be able to do it, and nobody can correct you, and your future is dark, your future is bleak, and like things like statements like this actually starts creating self-doubt in children, and they start doubting their own abilities. So when we talk about building self-confidence, the first step I suggest is building self-worth, and give them small targets, make them achieve it, and give them descriptive praise, and see the difference. Like this, you're able to build it. Over and above, I think what is very important is, even for adults, that you take care of your body first of all. You sleep well, you hydrate yourself, you drink enough water, you eat a proper food, where you take care of your body. Because when your body is good, when you look good, you're confident, you have enough energy into your system, you genuinely are able to deal with anything, any kind of, see, your threshold get increased when you feel positive within. So positive mind and positive body, and positive mind only stays in positive body. So I think families now, especially Corona time and pandemic time, and everybody's locked down within the four walls of the home, I think it's very, very important for us all to be cautious about what we say. What we say, it is important, but how we say it is more important. And at times we forget about this how part of it, and things go very, very bad. And parents, I know they love their children, they want to do everything in the best interest of the children, but at times they do not take care of these lovely little components which are very, very important. So I would say healthy mind stays in the healthy body, take care of your body, sleep well on time. Sometimes parents themselves are awake till late in the night, and when they sleep late, early morning for school, they need to get up. They're very sleepy, and now online school means I see children right from the bed, getting connected to the classrooms. This is not happy. This is not good. And parents need to maintain a kind of a discipline at home where there should be a cutoff time, there should be a sleep time, and especially drinking water is very important. You must hydrate yourself. You must take care of the basic needs of your body. Then only you would be able to create that feeling of self-worth and not self-doubt. So I think these are very, very important components to cultivate that. One thing, positives and negatives are a part of life. Ups and downs are part of life. Nobody can control the external environment. Good things will happen, bad things will happen. But the people with high self-confidence, they know how to bounce back. And I think this bounce back is very, very important. And our children need to learn. And unless this bounce back is there, then you're totally shattered, brittle, and you're into pieces when somebody hits you, attacks you, or say harsh words to you. So you should have a resilience which should be cultivated and developed, and that will bring in a difference. So it's very important that you have the ability to bounce back, because that is what defines your self-confidence. I remember, I feel like quoting an incident of Mahatma Gandhi ji at South Africa. Once he had a ticket for first class and he was traveling, but they did not believe being dark. He was asked to leave the first class and he was thrown down at the platform. And that very moment, he didn't give up. The negatives may come in your life, but that moment he said, "You've thrown me out of your train. I will ensure I throw you out of my country." And bouncing back, going back and working towards your goal, going back and working towards your mission is something which speaks about your confidence. There's no need to fight back right there and then, but a long-term plan. And I would suggest these young students who are listening to this talk, you must have your long-term goals, you must have your short-term goals, you must have your immediate goals. So goals are very important, because the minute you identify your goals, then the tour, the journey gets settled. So it's like a rubber band effect, that you have a rubber band and you stretch your hands. The minute you stretch it, both the hands like to reach each other. And that is what happens once you're decisive and you know what you want in your life. A lot of children live their life without even knowing who they want to be in life. They don't even pull out time to think about it. So, Ms. Lucia, it is very important that the parents also start asking these questions. Doesn't matter, they change 100 times. It's not like a commitment for a lifetime. Today they say they want to be X and 2 days later they want to be Y. It's okay. But as far as their cognitive abilities, they're able to think that who they choose to be, what do they want to be. And these should be the talks on the dining table when the whole family is sitting together, and it'll make a difference.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Alka. This has been a very, very, very fruitful discussion. I would now like to take a moment perhaps to invite some of our listeners if they have some questions. That would be delightful.
Certainly. I look forward to anybody wants to ask anything, you're most welcome.
Very well, Doctor. I think there's something, though, that we can sort of wrap up with, and I think is that attitude of gratitude, that many times we take so much for granted, but we have so much within us that we can share. And I think being grateful enables us to do that. So would you like to spread a little bit more light on that,
Certainly,
Doctor?
Ms. Lucia, attitude of gratitude is very, very close to my heart, and being appreciative of what you have in your life. I think many times our children, forget about children, even adults, fail to recognize what they have in their life itself. And I would suggest if the parents are able to help the children maintain the journal of gratitude. Be thankful for about smallest things in your life, and you will see that your whole thought processes would get into positivity, and it is the positivity which makes the difference. So start writing it down every night before you go to bed, one thing for which you're really thankful to God about, whatever it is. And in your life, 2 more suggestions: appreciate others. Appreciate for little things. Something does something very small for you, appreciate that person. That is very significant. And whatever you can give, it can be giving knowledge, giving appreciation, giving anything which you think you can, which you have, make you feel very strong and positive within. So attitude of gratitude on the regular basis will bring in a lot of difference. Thank you so much, Ms. Lucia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alka. I know in a few weeks, something very special is happening at EduScan. Would you like to share what is happening with our upcoming spring camp?
Why not, Ms. Lucia, you share, because the schools are heading towards the holidays, and very soon the children will finish their final exams, and then they have 3 weeks of a long holiday. And I would recommend to all the parents to pull out this time, help your children to inculcate all these leadership qualities which we're talking about, be it memory and concentration, creative thinking, self-confidence building, 7 habits of highly successful children, mindfulness, art and craft, and whatnot. And it is just around the corner. So we are starting it on, I think, the 13th of April. This is the Sunday of the two weeks, the second week Sunday, and it will run till the end of the April 1st week. So you have 3 full weeks to let your children enjoy these leadership training programs, which happen every morning from 9:30 to 1 o'clock UAE time. Thank you very much for reminding our parents and reminding me to share it with them. So if your children are not busy during the holidays, ask them to join. And all these training programs are available online. So they just need to be just a click away and they will get all this at home.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alka. It's been delightful having this chat with you this evening. And I would also like to take this moment to thank our audience for participating and knowing that they are more than welcome to always ask their questions and to participate actively, but their presence is very, very much appreciated. So thank you once again, Dr. Alka. Until the next time.
Thank you very much, Miss Lucia. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, audience. Take care.
Goodbye, everyone. Good night.